Among his straight-laced and close-shorn colleagues, a striking mane of silver provided a heraldic sui generis touch. Meta tossed the towel into the fabricator. With a soft hum, it swiftly disassembled the fabric while he dressed, choosing shades of charcoal and black to reflect the gravity of the day. He stepped into his shoes as the fabricator finished reweaving the towel into a fresh new lab coat. After one final check in the mirror, he told it to go away. Taking a deep breath, he stepped out of his quarters. A trio of sleek black spheres, each slightly more than twice the size of a billiard ball, hung perfectly still, suspended in the air. They had been waiting for him with unfailing patience. "Don't look at the cameras," he reminded himself. The rover drones were for the documentary. Instead of using a neural link to record through his eyes, the producers had chosen to do a holo, preferring a more retro look to give the footage a timeless quality. Meta did his best to ignore the drones as he proceeded down the corridor. Moments later, he encountered the first of the station personnel. "Good luck, Dr. Meta," the man said earnestly. More colleagues, technicians, and research assistants smiled and offered words of encouragement as he and his floating entourage continued on their way. The excitement in the air was palpable, and beneath his normally calm exterior, even he found himself struggling to tamp down a growing sense of exhilaration. Reaching the intersection that would take him to the station commons, Meta stopped, listening to the press conference commencing inside. After a brief internal debate, he retreated. Better to face the reporters after the morning's experiment was a success. He'd take the long way around, past the labs and conference rooms. He had nearly navigated the entire labyrinth when the first of the rovers, seeking a long tracking shot, sailed past an automatic door. As it slid open, muffled voices came from inside. Meta paused. Something wasn't right. Without warning, a plump little Adelie penguin, its head barely reached his knee, nonchalantly waddled into the hallway. The bird peered up at him for a moment, before toddling off back through the doorway. Meta stared after the bold little bird. Did the film crew stage this? If so, he wasn't sure how he felt about the artistic choice. "Dr. Meta!" a voice called out from the open door. Before he could hurry past, a generically handsome man stuck his head out into the corridor. Gifford, the resident biologist. Meta couldn't stand him. "Didn't think we'd see you down here?" Gifford exclaimed, voice filled with artificial bonhomie. He seemed oblivious to his colleague's frown. "I thought you'd be in the commons with the paparazzi. This is a lucky surprise." "Yes, well," Meta smiled weakly. "If you'll excuse me, Come, meet my students." "Well, Gifford grabbed Meta's arm before he could refuse, pulling him into the classroom where a dozen or so eager young faces turned toward their professor. "Here's Dr. Meta, the man of the hour." At once, the students turned their attention to the startled director and gathered around him. Gifford beamed, adding, "These are the grad students visiting us from University of New Fiji." Meta tried to mask his irritation with the unctuous biologist. No sense in taking it out on these chipper young innocents. Besides, he was genuinely happy to encourage future scientists in his field. "You're all doing transspatial physics?" he said. "That's splendid." "Actually," Gifford said, cutting in again, "this batch is with the anthropology department." "Anthropology?" Meta replied, surprised. "The Tierra del Fuegans are quite a ways off. Or are they here to study Antarctic physics researchers?" He smiled. "That's an isolated test group, if there ever was one." As the students laughed, Meta wondered which of the attractive young grads Gifford had his eye on. At least 3 appeared to fall within his chosen target demographic. As if on cue, the biologist sidled up to Meta like the bosom chums they weren't, putting a hand on his shoulder and leaning in conspiratorially. "It's a special academic field trip I helped arrange," he said. Then he straightened. "So, Meta, I promised this bunch you'd take time out of the celebration tonight and join us for a less stuffy party on their expedition craft. You have to see it. It's an Aviale strato yacht. Absolutely top of the line. Delta Field, multi-teraphase energy wings. Just a gorgeous piece of aerodynamics." "We'll have to see how it goes," he replied noncommittally. "Of course."